Our story begins in Tokyo, Japan in the summer of 1954. A man arrives at the airport, stepping off a plane like any other business traveler. He's well dressed, fluent in several languages, and carries a European looking passport.
But when customs officials take a closer look at the passport, things start to get strange. The country listed in his document? Taured. Never heard of it? Neither had anybody else.
The passport looked official. It had stamps from previous travels, including entries and exits from countries across Europe. But Taured? As far as anybody knew, that place never existed.
Naturally, the immigration officials that were speaking to him were confused, and when they started asking deeper questions, that's when things started to get really weird.
The man insisted Taured was a real country. It was located between France and Spain. When they pulled out a map and showed him that area and saw that there was no Taured, he became angry. He said his country had existed for thousands of years.
He pointed at Andorra and said, "This is where Taured's supposed to be." He truly believed he came from a nation that, on our map, doesn't exist.
To him, it wasn't a hoax, wasn't a joke. He was dead serious, and he was completely baffled and disoriented that everybody else saw the world different than him.
At this point, airport officials weren't sure what to do. He hadn't cleared customs, not made it through immigration, so he wasn't allowed in the country yet. They actually put him up in a hotel and posted guards outside his room so he couldn't leave.
Yeah, and you know, the next morning, when they returned, to question him, to see what was going on, they went to his room and he was just gone. The door had been locked from the inside. The windows were shut. He didn't climb out the windows, and the guards had been there all night, and they said they didn't see anybody come or go, nothing.
No, and there was no sign of forced entry, no escape route. He just vanished.
Over the years, this story has fascinated researchers, skeptics, theorists. What up explanations?
Theorists? It's not a word.
Theorists.
Theorists.
Okay. Over the years, the story has fascinated theorists, researchers, and skeptics. One popular explanation, the man was a traveler from a parallel universe who accidentally slipped into ours.
Or other people think it was a time traveler, confused by the future or past where the map looked different.
Well, here's the thing. Here's where things really get interesting. There's a real story. There's a real case documented in the early 1960s that may have given rise to the Taured legend. Or maybe it was the other way around.
The real man's name was John Allen Kuchar Zegras, and his story is just as weird as the name. In 1960, he was arrested in Japan for forgery and fraud after presenting a passport from a country that didn't exist.
The passport claimed he was from Tamanrasset, a region in Algeria. That's my best guess at it. But his nationality was still listed as Taured, that name again.
He claimed to be a former U.S. intelligence agent working for the Middle East, but officially? He said he was former U.S. intelligence and was now working for the Middle East. But officials quickly uncovered a web of lies. A web of lies.
The web of lies.
The passport was completely fabricated, stitched together from multiple real documents.
Neat. But here's the thing. He had a Korean wife. He spoke multiple languages. He was a smart guy.
Sounds like a spy.
He does, because he had traveled extensively just all over the world using these forged documents. I guess it was a little easier to get around then. But in the end, his story did fall apart. He did get caught. He was exposed, and it turns out he was a career con artist, not a man from another dimension or a time traveler.
Still, the name Taured appears in the paperwork, and the idea of a confused traveler claiming a fictional homeland, it's all eerily familiar.
Yeah, I mean, some people believe Zegras' case might have evolved into the urban legend, kind of, blurring the lines between real and the mysterious, and those supernatural, otherworldly elements just kind of evolved over time.
Or maybe there were two different men. And Zegras was just trying to go home to a country that existed somewhere.
Yeah, could be. You don't know.
The Man From Taured still remains unsolved. Maybe it was Zegras, maybe it wasn't. The mystery still lingers.
It still lingers, and you know what? It's fun to explore it. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. It helps us out a whole ton. And let us know in the comments what you would like us to explore next. Till next time.
Bye.
Bye.